be able to raise our kids. You know, I mean, I did it with you, and now you're doing it with the other ones. And I remember, and I remember when you would you when I would have to spank you. I didn't spank them all the time, but at times I did it.
I got a few. I got a few.
and and I would tell you, you know, it hurts me more than it hurts you, and you say, yeah, all right.
Well, I haven't had to do a lot of spanking. You say I'm doing a good job, but you know, it's because of the foundation that you laid for me. That I give you a lot of credit, you know, and so that's where it came from. And also, you know, I got some pretty well-rounded kids. They got some pretty good heads on them. I know they're smarter than I was when I was their age, because I think I've gotten way more spankings than I've had to spank them.
Oh boy. Well, but anyway, what we just want to talk about is just that it's tomorrow. We'll be celebrating a very special day. It'll be the Father's Day, and you know, and for those that have your father, well, you know, it's something that is more than gold. Amen. When you have your dad, I mean, I say that because when my dad was alive, the last few years that he lived, I wanted to be so close to him, and it just like, no, I don't know how to explain it, but it was something that was a lot precious to me because of who he was, and I understood who he was and what he was about in as far as a Christian father, and you know, and so, and then there's some, you know, now he's already passed away, so I don't have him with me. So for those that have your father, you know, you need to honor him tomorrow, not because I'm a father, you know, and my son is here, no, not because of that, but it's, you know, we need to give honor where honor is needs to go. And tomorrow will be a celebration, you know, of Father's Day. And, you know, it's all over the country, right? You know, all this is, people celebrate this celebration throughout the whole world. But a lot of times we seem to just celebrate it on this one day, and then we just tend to forget. And, you know, but it's a celebration that needs to be taken, you know, in every day. And you know, I think that if we have more communication between a son and a father, or a son and a daughter, I think we have more in an advantage than we would if we don't have communication. Because I think that the communication has been lost, especially in these days that we're living in, you know, and especially now that we have all this technology. You know, there's so much kids now devoting so much time to the video games, to the phone, and there seems to be no communication.
Well, you know, our focus is just not there. I think, like you said, when you had your father the last few years, you wanted to be close, because I think you knew it was getting there to that point. And I think now that he's gone, you miss and you cherish the moments that you had.
Right.
And I think not just me, but everybody, and like you're saying, we take it for granted that we have our mother and father now, and we're too busy with all, like you're saying, technology and all that. And I think someone like you who doesn't have his father here anymore, you know, can snap us out of it and wake us up and, you know, hey, honor your father and mother while they're here.
Yeah. You know, when they're, you know, whenever kids are young, well, they just look at the father and, you know, like it's, but the older the person gets and the older the kid gets, or, you know, he gets to be an adult, he gets to see things a little bit more different than he would when he was a little bit younger. And as time goes by, I know that by experience that you know, back 15 years ago, you look at things a little bit more different than you do now. And because of how you have conducted your life to manage to handle the role of a father is the success that you have now. You know, and I take part in what you were saying, but you know, you had to make a choice.
Right.
You had to make that choice because I can only tell you, and then from there on, well then, it's up to the individual to take that role. But you know, there's so many things, Ray, that are happening right now because, you know, I guess when a kid was growing up, somebody was growing up, the parent was not really paying too much attention to that kid. And you know, they were saying, well, he's just a kid, you know, let him play, let him do whatever he wants to, and blah, blah, blah. And then never was there a structure from the parent or the dad, and I'm going down to the Christian structure. And right here in Ephesians 6, chapter 6, verse 1, it says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and your mother, which is the first commandment with a promise. Now, that is God speaking right there. It says to honor the father and the mother. Right now, well, this is going to be applying for the father because we're celebrating this day of the father. And not only does it say that it's a commandment, but does it say that we're supposed to do it, but it says it's a commandment. In other words, it's our right to honor a father and to honor him. And a lot of times it's hard to even honor a father that maybe has not really provided for his kids or has just been a person that has just, but he says to honor them regardless of whatever he is, because in return we get an advantage that God is offering it to us because of what we do for our fathers. And I believe that this is what you have done. I mean, God has honored you because of the position that you have taken to, you have always respected me. You have always tried and I just thank God, you know, you don't know not the complaints, but the compliments that I get. And sometimes it just brings me to my knees because I say, wow, I don't even deserve that. Because if it wasn't God that was inside of me that was helping me, I would not be able to get this credit. That, you know, I've had so many people, Ray, that have told me, you know, you got one of the best two songs that I have ever seen. He said that they say they just, I just look at them and I don't know how to answer.
Well, I mean, you know, the verse that you read is a commandment to the children to honor your father and mother, and I agree with that. But at the same time, I have to be an honorable man.
Right.
If I'm out doing wrong, or if I'm not taking care of my kids, then how can I expect for them to respect me or honor me? So I know a lot of people that are my age who have nothing to do with their parents. And why? Because they say they were never there for them growing up. You know, you've heard that word, deadbeat dads.
Right.
And so now those dads are alone. And I bet they sit there day after day wishing they had the love of their children and their grandchildren.
Right.
So I don't want to be that person. So today, not later, I try to do the best job I can do as a dad. Not just for them,
right,
but for me. I want them in my life later. You know, and that's one thing that I see. And yes, honor your father and mother. But at the same time, you know, us as men, we have to step up and we have to live in a way that they're going to see us and love us and respect us.
Yes.
And you know, you're absolutely right, because it takes that kind of understanding, you know, and it's even hard enough when a parent tries all they can, much less when they don't try. I think the odds are just completely against them.
Yeah, and the world is, it's hard as it is already for kids. Even with parents who love them and who care for them, they still encounter things each and every day. And, I mean...
You know, we have this young man that walked into that church, and he killed 9 people.
Mm.
And this person was around the people there that were Christians, but he had some mentality in his mind about something, you know, that was going on in his mind, you know, and it goes back to I would have to blame the parents.
Mm-hmm.
At some point in time, you know, we have so many people that are in prison right now that are serving life sentences, that are maybe going through they have even died in prison, you know, and it was because of the lack of leadership in their lives.
Mm-hmm. And I read a statistic of what you're saying, and I was telling my wife Ian about this the other day. They did a census in this prison, and every person that was in that prison, half of those people grew up in a household without a father, or a father that was there but not really there. And that was half the prison that they talked to. So that shows there was no direction. There was, you know, there was no leadership.
Wow. And you know, more than ever now is the opportunity for a parent to step up, or a father, because you know, God has made us responsible,
Mm-hmm.
as a father, to be a leader.
Yeah.
You know, to be a leader